people. Thank you to everyone that's already here. And if you're watching this video right now or live, not live, please like this video so we know that you want more content and we will produce it, but we have to see those likes in the chat. No, in the video, okay? So go both community. And a lot to talk about, Breton, right?
Oh my. And yeah, for some reason, a lot of it involves Portugal, man. What's going on here? Why is Portugal in the news so much?
Well, we have Vitinha, Fábio Vieira, Fábio Carvalho, Palhinha, Renato Sanches, and now Matheus Nunes getting a move. And that's why we have a ton of talent. I know when we first spoke in Breton, I really said, I really felt, that at the time we just had a special generation. And I had to speak about the youth here in Portugal. Eu tô a falar sério. I really felt this. E estamos cá and we're going to go bold. But people here want to know about Matheus Nunes, I assume, right?
Yeah.
So put in the chat, like, your thoughts about Matheus Nunes. What do you want us to talk about today? What do you want us to... It's a Q&A, and it's an opportunity for us to know your thoughts on football, on our content. Go bold. We want to talk to you a bit, and yes, give you insights. But Matheus Nunes, 50 million, it's worth the price, Breton. I just want to say that straight off the bat. It's bold, but it's worth the price. I want to know your thoughts, too.
Well, I feel like there's definitely a little bit of Portuguese inflation going on here.
No,
and I don't mean this. This isn't a testament to Matheus Nunes' his playing ability. But listen. Let me finish, and then you'll get it, right? Matheus Nunes. Are you saying that Matheus Nunes is 10 million euros better than Vitinha? And 15 million euros better than Fábio Vieira, and 30 million euros better than Palhinha.
Yes.
But I understand there are different contract scenarios and everything like that.
I am saying.
Oh, okay.
I am saying this is more important to Sporting than Vitinha was to Porto.
But from me talking to you about it, I would have never ever known that.
What?
Because I knew he was a good player. I knew he was a special player. I've seen him play. But I also did not necessarily know that in the end, he was going to wind up being the most expensive out of the midfielders. But it's great. I am more surprised that Wolves, of all people, of all teams, are the ones that are popping 50 million euros on one midfielder, and they're not done yet. They're not done yet when it comes to this. So I get that there's a Portuguese, obviously,
when I spoke
Bruno
to
Lage.
you about him, like I always said City. I always said Liverpool, and I said starting. Like for me, Matheus Nunes, no doubt in my mind, if he was at Liverpool right now, he'd start over Harvey Elliott. And James Milner maybe. I know he's experienced, but Matheus Nunes would start over them too. He's better right now. I'm saying that. Harvey Elliott has mad potential. Not saying no to that, and I hope he gets to it. Fábio Carvalho too. But Matheus Nunes is much better than Fábio Carvalho. And right now as a player. And 50 million would be the price.
He's 4 years older, right?
23, but
he's 23.
Exactly.
I mean, Fábio Carvalho and Harvey Elliott are 19.
But why is younger mandatory more expensive always? I think with him.
No. I'm not even saying that. Harvey Elliott was purchased by Fulham, a while back, right? And Fábio Carvalho was essentially stolen from Fulham. What I'm talking about is more so Vitinha, right? Fábio Vieira going first at 35 million. This is the inflation I'm talking about. Then it's Vitinha, 41.5, and frankly, I think they could have milked a whole lot more out of PSG. Now that you look at Wolverhampton Wanderers throwing 50 million at Matheus Nunes, that says that he's a special player. There's nothing to say no about. What I'm saying is that would he, if Matheus Nunes went at the beginning of the transfer window, would he have gone for 50 million euros before Fábio Vieira and before Vitinha?
That's negotiating, Breton.
That's what I'm saying. We're literally saying the exact same thing. You are agreeing. You're calling it negotiation. I'm calling it inflation.
I don't agree inflation because
then you don't know what inflation means.
Because Palhinha is undervalued when he's bought.
Right.
So I think that inflation would mean that overvalue. I'd say with this case. Wait. Fábio Vieira 35 bargain. Bargain still.
we're agreeing. We're agreeing. We're saying the exact same thing. You just disagree on what inflation means, even though inflation essentially means that the price has driven up on these Portuguese midfielders, has driven up. And it's not necessarily a testament to how good Matheus Nunes will be.
Matheus Nunes is really, man. He is a better player at Sporting.
But you agree he wouldn't have cost 50 million on day one of the transfer window.
Because they negotiate. But I agree that he wouldn't leave for
Chad, help me out here.
He wouldn't.
Chad, help me out.
Because I think you're discrediting Matheus Nunes. I have to say that.
I'm not.
Because
I'm not.
50 million is the only price that Wolves would get Matheus Nunes. In my opinion, honestly, whatever the time, if he went to Wolves, I think it would be for 50. In my opinion. Why? Because he didn't want to leave Sporting. That's the first thing I got to say. He didn't want to leave Sporting. And Sporting weren't even happy with 50. Just like Ruben. The coach is the person is the most mad. The biggest loser in all this is Ruben Amorim. He only has one striker at Sporting. Yeah. If you see the goals that Matheus Nunes has been putting, even in the last 2 games, he's showing they need him more than ever. And in Champions League football, if he's not there with just one striker in the team, done. So 50 million, it's under. I'd say maybe if they waited longer, they would have gone more. But let's wait and see.
Yeah,
but
let's wait and see.
Like Darwin,
this was not
Darwin
me
be more
passing
expensive
judgment
now
on his. What do you mean? No, I mean Darwin.
If Darwin
Nunes,
was available, would he be more expensive?
Liverpool overpaid for Darwin Nunes.
But,
yes, absolutely. I thought that day one. I said that day one. They definitely paid for 1 season, but that's the going rate for strikers.
But at 70 million, who would you get as good as Darwin at it? Well, with that potential too.
They had every shot at going after Vlahovic back in the day. Every shot at going after Vlahovic. So did Manchester United, frankly, and none of them came in hot.
But they had. Why would they go at that time?
Sadio
Mane was there.
If you're thinking about the future and what's going to happen,
but the money wasn't there. The 40 million.
He's a young striker. He's a young striker. Well,
but this summer, who should they've gotten this summer? Liverpool.
Who should they have gotten this summer from Liverpool? Oh, well, I'm going to have to actually go back and look at who would have been
this summer
the best possibility. But no, I mean, if you put me on the spot with that, he's overpriced. Yeah. He's 100% overpriced. Darwin Nunes overpriced.
So for 70 million, who would you've gotten?
I don't think you needed to spend 70 million for that striker position. Based on how Klopp plays, I don't think you need 70 million there. So yes, I would have to give a thought as to the other pieces on the short list that would have worked out. But ultimately, no. Do I think they needed to slap 70 million euros, going up to potentially 90 or 100 million euros? Do I think that they absolutely needed that to fill in the striker role? No, I don't. But they had the money, so they spent it.
So I want to see the chat on this. People in the chat, put it in your opinions. Is Darwin Nunes overpriced? Even on YouTube, man, because I think we're like, I really don't want to be agreeing with that, because I really do not agree with those comments, in my opinion.
Can you name a Portuguese player that was overpriced? Let's start there.
Okay. Nuno Tavares for 8 million, maybe at that time to Arsenal.
So he's gotten more. Listen, they've gotten more out of Nuno Tavares than Liverpool's gotten out of Darwin so far.
Andre Silva.
Yes, there is one. That is one. Andre Silva. And frankly, Wolves should actually look at Andre Silva if they can't wind up getting. But honestly,
there's more undervalued than overvalued. So, like Fabio Carvalho, majorly undervalued. Palhinha for 20 million. Major just my opinion. But let's wait and see if with time I'm right.
Thank you. And the chat is backing me up on this right now. But ultimately, I mean, if Darwin scores 30 goals this season, he's probably but listen, he's gonna get a 3-game ban, likely, after that headbutt. And here's the only issue I got. Darwin Nunes is a physical player. He's okay. He can figure that out. He's played in the Champions League. He's played all over the place. What kind of bothered me about that incident that happened was that it was so easy for João. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that first name right.
I love this.
But Anderson.
I love
What?
this.
No, but why was it so easy for Anderson to get under Darwin's skin?
First
Why?
of all, Uruguayan, okay? Uruguayan is just like was
Yeah, true.
Portuguese. He was here in Portugal. Emotional people, ruthless, and people that go with the intent of always doing it all. Suarez, Jimenez, Godin. The history of football, there's a lot of Uruguayan players. I think the people can understand this one. And Darwin, like, he was provoked by Joaquin Anderson. I totally agree with that. And he should have answered the way he did. I completely agree with that. And I'm going to criticize the Portuguese refereeing. Okay? I am going to criticize because this is the consequence of bad refereeing in Portugal, okay? Because if there's more red cards for incidents like those, he wouldn't be doing. Because I've seen Darwin do that nonstop and get a yellow. Always got a yellow for that type of stuth. And Darwin has learned. And just like in life, man, you need to commit a mistake and then you learn.
Yeah.
Darwin,
of course.
in his first year at Benfica, I don't know if he deleted his social media accounts, Instagram, everything. And at the time, he really had psychological apoyo, like help at the time. This was really something, he really had support. And he changed, okay? He changed and he became a lot more focused. And Nelson Veríssimo, that now is at Estoril, great job with Darwin Nuñez, okay? So I want to say this. I love the chat. Thank you, chat, for answering our press. Put more what you want us to talk about. I see Caicedo, Casemiro. We will get to that.
We'll talk.
But Nuñez overpriced. I really want to say to the people at home seeing this video, it's really not the case for me. Because in today's market and in 2-3 years, Darwin Nuñez, 17 million, will be seen as a very good deal for Liverpool, okay? In my opinion. So, I love it. And
I'm going to respectfully...
just thinking of Matheus, so I finalize it. Like, Matheus will be 50 million instantly in the Prem, okay? Instantly in the Prem. I'm not waiting on a month. I'm waiting on 2 weeks with him. He's going to have Wolves went from relegation battle... Okay, in my opinion, maybe. Okay, not guaranteed, but Fulham is better. Leeds is better. Teams are winning games, and they're not getting those points. Fulham, 0-0. Very bad game from Wolves. I saw the full game. Okay, and no finishing. They have to get a striker too. Okay, mandatory. But
they need center backs too.
Well, Nathan Collins, I like that kid. He's got good future. And Connor Cody leaving on a loan. That was a bit, but I agree with you. A center back would be good, but
they need a striker and a center back, and they also they need obviously Ruben Neves and
exactly
Ruben Neves staying. But here just to go back on the Darwin thing, because we have to remember that Joachim Anderson, he took. Did you see some of what he obviously publicized after the fact? After that whole thing,
don't have interest
in
that guy.
He got like 300, 400, 500 posts that essentially, or DMs, I should say, that essentially were calling for the end of his life.
Man,
and
honestly,
his family's life.
Like,
so
it's the bad of the
literally.
Okay.
I think you're maybe making not too much out of this, which is fine. But hopefully, I agree with you, Darwin. Darwin needs to learn from this. He's going to have 3 games likely to do so. And ultimately, he did the right thing. He immediately said, sorry to the fans, sorry to the club, got that done, got that out of the way. And I expect him to come back stronger. But here's the thing, is he just opened the playbook on how to play Darwin, on how to play and how to mark Darwin. But here's what I got to say before that, because before this incident, he still had his chance. He had 1 or 2 chances versus Crystal Palace. The one I'm remembering was far post. It came over the central defense, and he had every possibility of putting that in the back of the net. The issue was it was a highly technical finish that would have been a little bit tough. But Darwin will score goals. Whether or not he's going to be worth the money that has been spent on him, I don't know. But initially up front, yes, they paid a massive premium to bring in this particular Darwin Nuñez. So why don't we move on somewhere else? Do you want to go? Do you want to go to United?
Yes.
You want to go to United?
Yes. Okay. We could talk about United, and I want to say if they got Félix for what? Yeah, I want to know your thoughts first on this because I'm predictable on this. I think if João Félix went to Man United, what would happen, Breton?
he should not go to Manchester United.
But if he went, what would happen?
I don't even know if Manchester United has the money to bring in João Félix.
They do
now.
They do.
Well, they're gonna have to offload, and right now everybody's playing tough with them. Wan-Bissaka, they've been talking about getting rid of him for.
They got way too much money right now. Not doing those moves.
But they also have owners that might be looking at selling, and they're not going to be doing anything from a sporting front until they actually sell. True. Now, whether or not the Glazers sell, I don't actually agree with that, because I think, when it comes to American owners, it's until my grubby hands allow this to happen. I can't imagine the Glazers are just going to walk away. But hey, listen. We've got Elon Musk that might want to buy it. I understand that was a joke, man, but the fact that Elon Musk, it's the potential.
There's potential, but imagine the level of influence he would have in football straight off the bat if he got Man United. Imagine Man United, Tesla, sponsored by Tesla, Man United. It would be the most talked club in the world if they were owned by Elon Musk. And for Man United fans, they should want Elon Musk.
Like, here's the thing: they're publicly traded, dude. They're publicly traded in the United States. It's only part of their float. Elon Musk is not buying Manchester United. I'm going to pour that cold water right on top of Musk. Musk is a troll. He's a genius troll. But man, has he turned into a troll these past few days, or I should say months, with the whole Twitter bid and the selling of Tesla and all that. But that's my other job. When it comes down to it, you do not want Elon Musk buying Manchester United. I could promise you that. Okay? Now, if he puts somebody into a role,
that would happen. Yeah.
A role,
would it be him?
But I don't trust him to pick the right person to do that. So you would have rather had somebody like Todd Boehly to be kicking the Glazers out than somebody like Elon Musk. But anyway, that's besides the point. Yeah. I just feel like, and you
would
already mentioned João Félix. Yeah, yes. You've already mentioned João Félix, but like Casemiro, like all these names that just continue to get pushed, right? I feel like the media is like waking up in the morning. There's a dartboard with player names on it. They're throwing a dart, and whatever it hits, they're going to write about that today, because guess what? Manchester United sells at the moment. At least it sells via headline risk. And ultimately, I don't know what Ten Hag's best next step is, but bringing João Félix in, he'd cost what? 90 million?
More. 100, more than 100 guaranteed.
It'd be the stupidest move alive when you have to put how many new players into place.
Man United are desperate.
I hear you.
How could they get with the same level of talent of João Félix right now?
Right.
Can they get Frankie?
No, not right now. I don't know. I think Erik ten Hag has some clean sweeping to do to find the players within the club that currently meet the mentality that's necessary to continue this fight moving forward. And then I honestly don't know with who he's got. I just feel like he's getting vetoed. I feel like Ten Hag is getting vetoed on the moves he actually wants to make. Versus the moves he should make. So I don't know. What do you think the best next step is for Ten Hag?
Okay, I feel like Félix was presented towards Man United, and I really think they're considering, because Man United right now is on the market inquiring for every single player right there that they can get their hands to. Like I've seen Casemiro, which I really think if Casemiro went to Man United, Varane would have to start, definitely put Maguire on the bench finally and take that captaincy off him. Okay, give it to Varane instead, or to Ronaldo, and put Casemiro at the 6. That would be incredible. If that would be better than what is there, in my opinion, at Man United, just as a start. And yeah, get McTominay. I don't understand why McTominay is so important. Like, I don't understand some players still being there and not being on loan already. Mejri, Amad Diallo, we don't know what's going to happen. Garnacho, will he play? Will he not? Sancho has to get... Yeah, Garner, I think they're going to get 50 million. 15 million for James Garner is ridiculous, in my opinion, man. Like, not even giving him a chance in the Prem, since what he did at Nottingham was bold itself. Man, it was stupid. Like, disrespectful. And
it's selling your future for a present day name, and they can't even get Rabiot across the line. And in fact, that has collapsed.
Good.
And all you gotta do is butter Rabiot's mom up and make her feel like her son can actually thrive in Manchester, because apparently she calls the shots in that dynamic. And you'd have at least a DM, but instead of giving James Garner even the slightest shot at showing that he'll fight for a ball a little more than the current setup of McFred, I really don't understand it, and it actually pisses me off when it comes down to it, because you have these players within your setup that, you're right, they're going to make mistakes. They will make mistakes, and they might not be top 3, top 4 team if you play James Garner this season. But you got nothing to lose when it comes down to it, and I honestly feel one thing is for sure: Erik ten Hag needs to be given time.
True.
I think you agree with that, right? And unfortunately, he also, not unfortunately, but he needs to be given the latitude that I'm pretty certain he was promised on day one to make the moves he's got to make. And he needs to be a little more transparent about why they're having trouble bringing any players in. Any players in.
True.
Because I don't think Casemiro is coming. I don't think Matheus Nunes is coming. In fact, I believe he said no right away. And I certainly don't think João Félix. That's pipe dream.
Yeah.
Why would João Félix leave a club currently?
Why? I could say why. Because he doesn't like the style of football at Atletico. That could be a reason why. And he just did a hat trick of assists. But just so I don't forget here, the comment, we have to talk more of Félix, definitely. But like Patrick Castro, would Moises Caicedo to United be a good move for Moises right now, Breton? Do you think it would?
I mean, yeah, I still think it actually would. And I think it would be a great, great move, except
it's a dream for him.
It is a dream for him, but always in the back of your head has got to be, at least with those that took over, and Ten Hag in particular, is you literally could have bought this guy a year and a half ago for absolutely
4 million
cheap.
4 million. That's the exact. And
we know. I mean, Brighton ran a hard bargain for Cucurella, so ultimately, I don't think Caicedo is coming in for 10 or 20 unless he's got a minimum fee release clause.
True.
I highly doubt he's leaving for anywhere close to what they could have gotten him.
I think he can't leave less than Cucurella, considering like he's more important right now to Brighton. Maybe I'm not saying like for left back Cucurella is amazing, but Caicedo is very needed right now. And yeah, if they were to get a replacement. But here, Marvel DC, is Bernard Silva joining PSG? Well, I hope that doesn't happen. Okay.
Calm the spam first, sir. But yeah, Bernardo Silva joining PSG, I don't think so. But I do have to ask you, it looks as if Bernardo Silva to Barcelona is also threatened. Is that correct?
Yeah, it looks, because like it's the money asked of 100 million, but let's wait and see. Yeah. Let's wait and see. I'd hope it does happen, because I think Guardiola wouldn't go against the intention of the player. And we're still 17th of August until the 2nd of September. I think the last week, this transfer window, we're going to see big deals. I don't know who, okay, but Wesley Fofana might take some time, because it's 75, 80 million. You need to negotiate big time there. And maybe Félix, we were talking him. He did a hat trick of assists, man. This past weekend, it was incredible, majestical, and he seemed really happy, like he's confident, okay? And I just hope he really goes bold this season, because I'm always seeing glimpses at the start, but I want to see the whole season boldness, okay? So Félix has the quality in his feet, it's all in his head, so yeah.
I gotta just back you up on that. I watched that match. He was phenomenal. Not just as the connector, but man, he created so much space. And listen to this.
Yes.
He joins one of 3 Portuguese players since the turn of the century, since the last 22 years, to register a hat trick of assists in a game. And you might recall the other 2. One is Luis Figo. And the other is Cristiano Ronaldo. So I'd say that's pretty good company on the 3 Portuguese players in the last 20 plus years to hit for a hat trick of assists in La Liga.
And a Ballon d'Or. And they hit in the Ballon d'Or. So Félix, you know what's up. You know what's up. Now, honestly, in his head, I'll say that. I say that because I speak to some people that speak to him, and I can say that in his head, kid's got a bold mentality, man, and a lot of expectations. When you're moving to Madrid so young, earning 6 million a year, you got to think about life in a different way. And now I think this is the season 22. Not 21 anymore. So now's the time, I think, and decisions will be done. So Jorge Mendes, man, a busy man this transfer window. Okay, Matheus Nunes, Ronaldo with all the chit chat. Bernardo Silva's client too. Like, oh my days, like getting Vitinha, Fábio Vieira. Pai Jesus, this man cannot stop. Palhinha, yeah, maybe.
But yeah, Atleti. Okay, my worries about Atletico were relatively unfounded. I know it's early in La Liga's season, but they looked very.
Let me
very
interrupt
good.
you. Sorry, Bretson. TH says here, because Sevilla center backs, that's a worry we had in the podcast. And TH, thank you for commenting. Comments more. We're answering the comments. And what do you all think about Nianzou, Bayern to Sevilla? Okay. Injuries got the best of him at Bayern. So, at Sevilla, what are our thoughts?
For the price, it looks like it's about to be 15 million plus add-ons is what I'm hearing. And I think it makes a whole lot of sense for Nianzou to leave because he needs playing time. He needs playing time, and Sevilla is a place to go. They just lost Jules Koundé. They just lost Diego Carlos, and unfortunately, Aston Villa just lost Diego Carlos as well. And we wish him a very speedy recovery. But no, I can't think of a better move actually off the top of my head for somebody that is in his scenario. We saw Chris Richards do it. Go to Crystal Palace. Hopefully he'll see more playing time as the season progresses. So, Bayern's young prospects that aren't quite Musiala-ing it. They absolutely – and listen, Bayern's doing great business under the hood. They really are. They're doing great business under the hood because they're bringing in the players that fill their gaps. They're bringing in the players that make them stronger. And they're getting rid of the players and not standing in their way so that they can go somewhere else to develop. And I'm sure they'll have a buyback clause. And if they don't, that's their fault.
But let's see. Brazo, the man, the sporting director that seems to cook it up. With Tiago Dantas, he went bold with the decision, but Tiago... but they got Gravenberch, I agree. The league, there's a lot of good players. And yes, Bayern seem different. And I totally agree with what you said about Sevilla I can't think of a better move too. Because, they lost those two. And they play at a high level. Considering they got Tails too. So, Marcão, Nianzou, brand new defense. And the goalkeeper is bold. But yes, answering AJ Valentino. Yes. What do you think of Neto to Arsenal? I don't know if that's going to happen straight off the bat, okay? If that happens, great deal on the future. He will be cheaper than if he hadn't gone the ACL, Pedro Neto, in my opinion. But, if he moves, great. But I don't think he should push for it because Wolves are building something cool. I like the team. Pedro Neto, Gonçalo Guedes, Matheus Nunes, future striker. Let's see who. Nathan Collins, I love that youngster. Moutinho experience. Neves, if they keep him. Wolves will get top 10 maybe with this core, okay? So I like it. But stay a bit. But, that's my answer. No, I'm not. Go. Because, Martinelli. Playing
right. Well. That's they've got their left, they've got their right, they've got everything all set up. I just think Pedro Neto would definitely give them a little bit of depth, but I believe it's depth that they kind of already have.
True.
So we gotta jump to this. Dev Singh, because we're gonna get to it at some point.
Yes.
Thoughts on the Mbappe Neymar controversy, and before I sound off, what are your initial thoughts on the man that runs PSG?
My initial thoughts is he's got big demands when you have Neymar on your team and Messi, okay? Like, first, he's 23. I understand that he has to be the star of the team, but you can't act like that in a game, okay? That's not the way to do things. And if you are the leader of PSG, act like the leader of PSG, okay? Lead by example, in my opinion. Mbappe, I know you will do that, okay? And for me, maybe he's regretting not going to Real Madrid. Maybe he's thinking about that, but I don't think that he should believe in that, and this is definitely not in his mind. But maybe in the future he'll be thinking, those actions were a bit of a consequence of staying because I'm just frustrated. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying my thoughts here. And Neymar. No. I do think Neymar, though, is taking this very personally. I want to say that.
Of course.
Okay. And a player like Renato Sanches will be backing Neymar, okay, in that locker room. Because why not? Neymar just wants to be the best he can. And I feel like more than ever, with Mbappe pointing, saying, oh, he can go on travels and I can't? What's this? Let's be honest. He's pointing fingers, and Neymar will improve with that, I think, maybe. Because the best Neymar was in a team that Suarez and Messi were better, okay, than him. And Neymar was better in given moments. But, you did Suarez. And so, I feel like it's good for Mbappe. But right now, it's a bit of drama in the news. But Galtier, get a grip, man.
Well, I think it's a little more than just drama in the news, because you could see, I mean, the mannerism, right? You could see him literally throw his hands up. You could see him bump into Messi. You could literally see it in his face that he is unhappy when it comes down to it. I don't know if it's just short term, something he can't get over, or if this is something that's deeper. And this is the one flaw. This is the one issue of having a Christophe Galtier at the helm here, because I don't think Galtier has necessarily been in this kind of having to placate the ego that is created when essentially you do hand Kylian Mbappe one of the biggest contracts on the planet, right?
True.
Essentially to keep him at his hometown club, or it's at the club that they would like to lead to a Champions League. But I'm going to tell you right now, unless Kylian Mbappe can grow 10 other Kylian Mbappes and find a way to play defense as well, he's not winning a Champions League anytime soon with that attitude. So I hope you're right. I hope it's short term, but really what it comes down to is we understand you've got your World Cup, Kylian Mbappe, right? And you were immensely instrumental to that. But if you want to win a Champions League and you want to win a Ballon d'Or, you've got a guy currently in your setup that we're not even talking about there. I don't know if we want to call him Mediator Messi. I don't know what we want to call him. But Leo Messi has won it all except for the World Cup. But Leo Messi has done it all in club football, okay? And if you want to win a Champions League, Kylian Mbappe, you better actually sit back and learn how to meld the three of you together, because, telling the club to sell Neymar is probably not going to do it. The same way Neymar doing Neymar things every once in a while isn't going to do it. So they got to figure out a way to come together, because otherwise Galtier, I don't know if he's equipped, not that I know him personally, but if he's equipped to deal with this ongoing stuff. And PSG cannot win a Champions League without that front three, or without that three.
I agree totally. I think a lot of facts right there. And Messi, I love those comments. And Mbappe, if you... but I just want to say to people, do not forget to like this live, okay? Or like this video. It's a huge help for us at FC Wonderkid. And put in the chat, say your questions, okay? We want to see. We're seeing, and we will talk about everything. Because, in the podcast, it's our chance. And if you're not listening, you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on YouTube, the full podcast, okay? In which we have the timestamps available. Just click in the description so you can know what we talk about in the pod. So, yes, seeing the comments. Thoughts on Tavares 2 goals with Marseille? Well, okay, I'm not a huge fan, but a huge fan of how he plays, because I still think defensively a lot to improve. But I like how he's doing things at Marseille.
But I do have to bring this up, right? Nuno Tavares, obviously great return already for Marseille off of this loan from Arsenal, but it has been a theme of this particular transfer window that if you want to know what the hottest commodity is beyond strikers out there, look no further than all of the young fullbacks that have made moves, right? And you've got Destiny Udogie joining Spurs recently for 18 million. You've got Sergio Gomez going from Anderlecht to Manchester City, 13 million euros. You've got Nuno Mendes making it official at PSG, Calvin Ramsey, Nathan Patterson, Cucurella, Aaron Hickey, Jed Spence, Calvin Bassey. I mean, there's so many fullbacks that people are literally trying. It just goes to show you that from a tactical standpoint, from a tactical standpoint, man, fullbacks are like all the rage currently. And the bigger one that I saw recently, and tell me if you saw this too, was Barcelona potentially going after Villarreal's Juan Foyt. Because he's a right back, center back. He's got the ability to maybe Dispel allow Araujo to just be a center back,
Not
and he
bad.
could focus on right back. But what you
Not
don't
bad.
get is if you're trying to get an attacking fullback, right?
You know
I
what I
don't know
like
if Juan
about that?
Foyt. Yeah,
Barca's exploring options. That's what I like
they
about
are.
that. They're like, okay, we can't get this guy at right back. We're trying to see whatever we can. And Juan Foyt, I haven't even thought about it. I saw the Bissaka. I thought you were gonna say, my favorite was like, he's
No.
not gonna ask me about Bissaka. I hope he Aaron Wan Bissaka will never, in my opinion, I'm sorry, I rate Bissaka for the English style of play. But no, not at Barca, okay, for that beautiful ball possession style of play. But he can play in a ball possession style of play, but not at Barca, okay. But yes, see, I'm gonna go back. João Pedro to Newcastle for 30 million, Breton. They need Ekitike was gonna happen. All of a sudden it dropped. PSG got him. João Pedro, I think that could happen. I think that could happen.
30 million seems like a relatively decent price, and it sounds like Ismail Assar is also not necessarily Newcastle, but being looked at by Crystal Palace and some others. So Watford's about to get rated the same way Burnley was rated, but João Pedro is the first place I would start. If you're going to go for anyone in that Watford team, he has all the ability to become a great, I think he needs a little more physicality, but I mean, he was already capable of great moments. So
and Bruno's there. Bruno, Joelinton. There's a ton of Brazilian players. Yeah, exactly. So like, and to be real, like I had the chance to speak to Talk Wolves, and that was really good chat with Dave. And like he said, like the Portuguese players at Wolves, they help a ton each other. They're like neighbors, all of them. And it's that core. And at Newcastle, if the Brazilians are already buying the property there, just making the churrascada at Newcastle, like I love to see, man, Brazilians go bold at Newcastle and get that money and ball out, okay? Because that's what you got to do. Bruno Guimarães should start for Brazil, in my opinion, okay? In my opinion. Definitely, man. Pinpointing those passes. Like, way too good.
From your mouth to their ears. I doubt it'll happen, though. Do you think it'll happen? He's got 3 months to make the right decision. I don't know if it'll happen.
I hope that happens. I hope Enzo goes to Argentina. And I'm going to say another midfielder. I believe in this player a lot, and they will be more talked in the future. I don't feel a lot of people are talking about him. And put in the chat if you know about him. In the comments, too, of this video. Gustavo Scarpa of Palmeiras. He is slept right now, and Abel is doing a masterclass with this player. Midfielder, very intelligent on and off. Dribbling-wise, he's Brazilian, but no stereotype on this. He's really good among the Brazilian players. Gustavo Scarpa, technically passing, and obviously in the final third, always doing the right calls. And that's why Palmeiras are really doing both things. So, yeah, Gustavo Scarpa, whoever gets him, gonna be good. Love it.
And he's been consistently good.
Yes.
Right. He's been absolutely consistently good. So that's improved. Yeah.
But
going back to the Premier League here, because you've got Nottingham Forest signing. I don't know how many players they're up to now. It's actually just impressive at this point. But they're about to potentially add Houssem Aouar.
Good deal.
Okay, from Lyon for like 14-15 million, which would be absolutely huge. But I do think they already rated Watford, and they brought in Emmanuel Dennis, which. I mean, come on. He managed, for the Hornets last year, 9, 10 Premier League goals for one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the league. I think if you're going to make a nice calculated move, Nottingham Forest did really well. And it was, I don't know. I mean, Nottingham Forest, I'm rooting for them. I have them still as getting relegated because they've got, 12, 13, 14 signings that they got to get up and running. But I'm rooting for them because the tricky trees are starting to build something. But one thing I do have to ask you, because the more I look at this Chelsea thing, this Chelsea thing, all right, because that match, obviously there was that. I got to ask you first off what you felt about the refereeing late in the match when Cucurella's hair was pulled. Well, we agree on that at least. But moving forward, it's more so like I was looking back at Tuchel's kind of history. And since 2022, and if you follow FB Wonderkids on Twitter, you've probably seen this, but since 2022, the beginning, they've scored 36 goals in the Premier League. Okay? Guess who their leading scorer is?
Let me see. Cool. For Chelsea? For Chelsea? Mason Mount. Yeah. No? Oh, Kai Havertz.
Yeah. It'll be Kai Havertz, but above that is their defensive core. Their defensive
Reece
core.
James?
You had Rudiger, you had James, you had Marcus Alonso, you had who else am I missing? Thiago Silva. They've all scored I think it's 10 of those goals. Right now, what I'm trying to figure out is whether or not, because a lot of people are saying Chelsea has crap attackers, and that's the bigger reason, right? That's the reason. Like Pulisic, he's done.
Bad
right?
finisher.
Havertz is not good. Timo Werner, bad finisher. Romelu Lukaku can't finish. At what point does it become the system and not the personnel?
Tuchel won the Champions League. That's a very big argument for him after very recent time in charge. But I agree. I think the pull the trigger of Lukaku cost him the job maybe in the future, because that's 110 million that went wrong. And I don't see managers getting that price wrong and staying at clubs. So that for me, Tuchel really depends on top four, and seeing how good Arsenal is makes Tottenham and Chelsea play like that, because they're hungry and they know that each point is important for this top four race. And props in Portuguese, that's good on Arsenal. Good on Arsenal, man. They are really making the Prem more excited by putting the competition of Chelsea, Tottenham, and even I really feel like Leeds, Fulham, even the promoted teams are good right now. I'm loving this. Is the best of the Prem, and naturally it is more money and all, but I'm really excited. I just want to say that, people. So gonna just get these last questions in the chat. What do you think about Case to United? Who's Case?
Oh, Casemiro. It's not happening.
sorry, because not.
But who will happen?
Yes,
Serginho Dest could happen.
Because he knows Ten Hag, maybe, yeah.
He knows Ten Hag. Ten Hag helped build the kid up, and all I have to say, I'll say it with Christian Pulisic. I'll say it with Serginho Dest. If it gets you at a place where you're playing week in, week out,
yes.
Heading into this particular, I know it's a little bit short-sighted with the World Cup coming up, but Christian Pulisic playing 31 minutes in his first two Premier League games. Serginho Dest basically being told that by Xavi that Xavi really likes his progress, and then being told, nope, you're a surplus to requirements and you're out the door as soon as we can find a possible suitor. At some point, buddy, just go. You got to go. Just listen to the man. Xavi doesn't want you. Serginho Dest needs to find his next best destination.
It's the actions.
And
actions
Manchester United,
than words. And
Manchester United could be a good place for him if he's not going to play at Barcelona. The real issue there is if Ten Hag still has the dressing room by the time that comes. And
true. I don't have beef with that Dest to United, but I'm Dalot's there. Okay, I'm not I like Diogo Dalot. I'm not gonna go against him. And if Aaron Wan-Bissaka leaves, but who did they get at right back? Man, I don't think Dest is. I don't know. Let's see. Hopefully Dest will be a great right back in the future, because I really believe technically he's awesome, man. Great player. The ability to go forward, I like it. He can be a winger given moments until he has to make a decision in front of the goal. But definitely, I like him as a player. But
he's 21.
For United, Malacia's young. But Eriksen, Lisandro Martinez, it's instant impacts. And Matheus Nunes, I will repeat, for Wolves, will be an instant impact. Whoever goes to Man United should be too right now an instant impact, because they're losing 4-0 to Brentford. So let's wait and see. But yeah. Thoughts on Patrick Castro has asked this one a lot. Thoughts on Estupiñán on Cucurella replacement?
Yeah, I think he's been move. Very it's a good move.
Great.
It's a good move. I think he's been pretty inconsistent for Villarreal, but when he is on and in form, he has been very, very good for them. So I think I like it in the long run. He's only 24, I believe. So it fits the Brighton model, and now they've got a trio of Ecuadorians on the team, which you gotta like. Between Caicedo, Sarmiento, and Estupiñán. Yeah. But ultimately, I think they're probably going to do better by continuing to deputize Trossard as a wingback until Estupiñán gets up and running. So I do like it. I do like it in the long term, and I think for the price, they could wind up doubling that price in the future if he has a good run of form.
A good World Cup. Just imagine if he performs big time in the World Cup. Like, if they keep Moises Caicedo, like, Brighton will be, fingers crossed, watching Ecuador, okay? Like, any goal, any moment, it's double the price for a player. And Caicedo could be, like, if Ecuador go bold, which there's a group that can happen, Caicedo could be youngster of the tournament. He's a bold shout. He is
a bold shot. I think you have a podcast topic or another live brewing right there to talk about who's going to be a young player. But before we move on, because talking about a young player, I know we're jumping from the Premier League, which everybody wants to spend a lot of time on, understandably so. But we can't go any further without talking about. I got to throw this propaganda out there. Arda Güler, 17 years old, scored 2 goals for Fenerbahce. One of those goals, if you can go onto Twitter, you can look it up. Somebody put the compilation together. It is brilliant. It is the 86-minute goal for Fener where he scored, and it almost looks identical to one that Leo Messi scored. Okay, the way he like Cruyff turns it, he takes him. It's a beautiful sight to see. But Arda Güler, we were worried, right, that his 10, being given the number 10 by such a storied club. Like Fenerbahce, it felt kind of ceremonial. In fact, it was only 3 days ago when we, were on our podcast that we actually said it was ceremonial. And it's nice to see him at his age, at 17 years old. He's already got 10 goal involvements in 500 professional minutes. And he looks every bit the part. So Güler, if he's not part of somebody's transfer policy heading into the end of this one, and I think it's too soon, you better expect it to happen come right after the World Cup when people are ready to spend some money because they're World Cup happy. So Arda Güler, I had to bring him up because by Sunday when we record another podcast, we'll likely forget about that it even happened.
And Güler, by the time the World Cup happens, that man, he will be one of the best players for Turkey, in my opinion, by the time. So let's wait and see, and put in the comment section players like Arda Güler that you believe will get to Arda Güler, or in the same level as Arda Güler, to compete. So one day, in terms of potential, gets the Ballon d'Or and maybe be the best youngster. Well, not in this World Cup, but in the future World Cup, for Arda Güler's case. But yes, let's see the chat here with last questions, maybe close. But thoughts on Nicolas Pepe to Nice potentially? I didn't know that happened.
Yeah,
great deal. Great deal.
It hasn't happened yet, but Pepe needs to move on. Yes. And frankly, if Pepe moves on and you can get 20-30 of the 70, then it's probably loan. It's probably loan with an obligation to buy. That's probably going to be the way it goes. But he needs to move on. I mean, there's no doubt. If you want to, I know the Ivory Coast is not in the World Cup, but if you want to start making a name for yourself again, then you got to move on. And Nice, I can think of good places. That's a good place to go. But even bigger, I do have to ask. We barely even covered Serie A, and we obviously need to give credit where credit is due. Napoli started off phenomenally, and I was worried about their attack because they're replacing so many players, Insigne and Mertens, and Kavicha. Exactly. Kavicha, he's not even at his best yet. Okay, so when he gets a little more secure on the ball, he was losing duels and stuff, but it didn't matter because he was still able to make the biggest difference, which was this one-time beautiful assist through ball that sent Osimhen through, and then he had a goal of his own. So you got to watch out. If you don't know this Georgian baller, Kavicha Kvaratskhelia, I might have screwed that up. Definitely watch out for the man.
Doing research with the name.
Exactly. And the other guy you got to watch out. Juventus, man. Juventus look good. I was happy to see Wes find a way into the lineup. They said he was going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks with his dislocated shoulder, but man, started day one, and Juventus looked pretty dang good. Dusan Vlahovic, though, I don't know why. Did you pick him for your potential Golden Boot winner in Serie A or no?
I said it. I gave him a shout out, but I said Tommy Vlahovic.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah. Tommy.
Well, he's got 2.
I think Tommy. I think Tommy though is gonna go bold. Or let me see. Are Celtic gonna go bold UCL this season? Love your pod, James McKenzie. Thank you for the compliment, and thank you to everyone listening to our weekly pod. Do not forget to tune in on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. But yeah, it's Celtic. I'm watching Benfica. But Celtic, I hope to see them in the Champions League, like I see sometimes. But playoffs, like that's. Like, I like to see Benfica because, playoffs, I gotta watch.
Well, Celtic will be in the group stage, and Rangers is fighting with PSV to get there. But Celtic's front three is deadly. Celtic's front three, like, that is a underestimate at your own peril. Because Celtic can get something done. Furahashi's back and he's healthy, which is really good for Celtic's depth. And Lyle Abada hasn't even really gotten going yet this season. You got Matt O'Reilly pulling the strings. You've got Turnbull. I know there's a love-hate relationship with Turnbull in that, but yeah, I think Celtic. I don't know. It depends on who they get drawn with, and you're going to do a live for that, right? You're going to do a live for
vlog.
A vlog, okay.
Yeah.
Champions League group stage.
So reacting towards the Champions League and people, that's going to be bold itself. So put down below if you want to see it. Say what you want to see. And you're shaking your head, so I don't know what the thoughts on that. But let's wait and see what's going to happen on it. But are you watching the Benfica? TH, I am quaking my boots. Dinamo Kiev had a good chance, but Vlaco, thank God. But how do you guys think Spurs will do this season? Top 4 race, so...
Well,
we said top 4.
We did. I believe I have them in 3rd. You can go back and look at our predictions clip, which is probably already outdated. But I got Spurs in 3rd. But we all believe here that the X factor is obviously Conte.
Goal! Just want to say, goal to Benfica!
Oh,
yes!
Wow.
Come on!
Who is it?
So Grimald, that passes. I just saw the shot, man. Woo! Man, what a shot! What a Gilberto! Man, what a bold shot from the right back, man. That's it! Benfica going to the Champions League and maybe
just
keeping Gonçalo Ramos with it. Gonçalo Ramos, Tumbo. Really good, man.
I was just sitting here wondering why I'm getting screamed at on this live. No, I forgot. I actually forgot that the Benfica game. It's at Dinamo Kiev, right?
Yeah, Poland. So it's home territory right now. So Zabarny, really late this youngster. So let's wait and see.
Zabarny is he's a hell of a young center back. Last thing I got to ask you though before we probably call it. Listen, Chelsea. I went into that whole system conversation, right, which we didn't really get answers on, and I'd love to. Maybe I'll put a poll up later to feel that out. But it sounds to me like you think it's personnel, and if it's personnel, then what do you feel about these transfer targets that's currently being thrown out there? I mean, we've got Aubameyang potentially.
Yes.
And then the other one that I don't know if there's truth to this, but it seems like there is. Anthony Gordon for 40 million, 50 million potentially pounds from Everton. Like, do you actually think that could happen? There's tweets out there from potential sources that literally are saying they're taking down Anthony Gordon advertisements at Goodison Park.
Oh my gosh! Chelsea is a real. I didn't know that was at that extent, but I'd assume Lampard has a hand, and Lampard, we all know, is major interested in a couple of those players at Chelsea, and I feel like it is bold for Everton. Everton is trust. If Anthony Gordon goes, they're trusting whatever comes in from Lampard. Okay, it's the all-in of Lampard with Everton. Okay, so. I think it will happen maybe for 50 million if Chelsea are willing to pay it. I don't like it because it's not. I don't like it. I rate the kid. I feel like he's phenomenal for Everton, and for that price for Everton, that's the amount that he should go for. So, I just feel like Conor Gallagher's better, and he's there. So there's a couple of players that can do that. Winger, offensive mid, Ziyech, Pulisic. So again, it's
Hudson-Odoi. We haven't even talked about Caltech.
Oh my gosh! Fuck, very true. Very true.
It's amazing. Amazing. So, but I agree with you. Just want to say
to Stefan, what do you think about the Copa Trophy? Listen to our weekly podcast, the timestamp, we have it there. And thank you for commenting. Everyone, just comment your thoughts. But yes, Chelsea.
But quick answer: we both think Bellingham's going to win.
True.
Sorry, but please go listen to the podcast that was just posted. But no, you're 100% right on Anthony Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
If Everton can get £50 million, £40 million for Anthony Gordon, you 100% do that. The issue is I don't think Everton has figured out how to spend the money. Period. Right? They know they need a striker, just in case Calvert-Lewin is
true.
Going somewhere else. They know they haven't yet figured out how to replace Richarlison, although I guess they've sort of tried with it. They need depth pretty much all over the park, especially in the center midfield role. So it kind of comes down to the fact that Gordon is literally maybe your most dependable young player moving forward, and he loves the club. But at the same time, if Chelsea's coming in and Todd Bowley's saying, here's £50 million.
I do, but Onana was a good deal. Onana was a good deal. And they were interested in Matheus Nunes in the past. So I know Everton gets them right and gets them wrong type thing. It's like balance. They have a lot of balance with those transfers. You know what I mean? And I like Godfrey. I think they got him right with him. I think this again what I said. It's a lot of Baines bargain type things. Like they had Coleman huge bargain too. So with Everton, I feel like it's a case of time. It's a case of time, but a big fan base, and with time, a big fan base. They might get to European football because of that fan base, and Everton fans keep on supporting with your team, and that's what I gotta say, because there's not a lot of hope. I share your thoughts too, man, because I don't know if Lampard is the guy to get to this stage of European football. But Odriozola to Nottingham, it's not the Real Sociedad Odriozola, no.
I believe it's probably Real Madrid's Odriozola.
Okay.
I believe it's the one that used to be at Bayern, and where else has he been? He's been all over the place. Was he at Real Sociedad at some point? I mean, for them, don't they have enough fullbacks?
Well, but true. But it's not a bad player, man. It's not a bad player at all. And I feel like just shows the quality, man. Nottingham Forest getting these players in the Prem. Oh my days, man. If Gallagher wins LFC, will be very bold, says ANZ Temset.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I mean, but Gallagher. Well, they do need midfield support, I suppose.
True.
Right? And there is word that Naby Keita is not so happy with his current role in the club. So Conor Gallagher would fit in very well there. And I think obviously with Curtis Jones's injury record, obviously a phenomenal footballer when he's on. I just don't know. You can't trust somebody, unfortunately. This sounds bad. That gets injured as often as he has. Just ask Christian Pulisic, because Tuchel doesn't rate him necessarily because seemingly he's in and out of the squad. But ultimately, if anyone that gets Conor Gallagher is stronger because of it. And if I were Newcastle, I would be going after Conor Gallagher.
I like that shout. That shout. They tried Madison, so they for the same profile player, even nationality and future, better player for the future. Breton, you went bold with that exact suggestion. Joelinton, Guimarães, Conor Gallagher. Now that I'm saying it,
nice.
It sounds even better. And I believe like a player like Olise could go to let's see. I feel like Newcastle are gonna sign a young player from the Prem that everybody's gonna be. They're gonna get a hoof. They're gonna get a hoof.
Well, you already said João Pedro, and I know he's championship now, but I think João Pedro is the right signing for them at that price, because you're right. We talked about Darwin's valuation. You're not finding, insane value, right? Insane quantity of goals for 30 million euros in this current transfer market. And João Pedro has shown that he is not out of place in the Premiership. One, and two, that he can hopefully. I would think he'd improve, and improve dramatically, especially with Guimaraes, Almiron feeding them balls. I think it'd be a good signing.
Top.
I love Almiron.
Huge improvement, man. Eddie Howe ball is Almiron ball now too. Like he's really like he's good with it. I like him. He's good, very good role player. And again, it's always that factor, psyche. The psyche.
I love
anytime.
Almiron. The same reason I love Conor Gallagher, right? He just never quits. Okay. True. Some of it is wasted movement for sure. Some of it is absolutely wasted movement with Almiron. But that guy will give you anything and everything. He made a fan out of me when he was at Atlanta United. After his big move there, they got an MLS Cup because of him. And I just think I think Newcastle.
Was it Joseph Martinez and Almiron with the Dragon Ball celebration?
Yes, sir.
So
yes,
sir. And with that stadium, they had to have a bold duo, man. 70,000, right? Mercedes-Benz Stadium for the European listeners that should see more maybe MLS.
Yeah, that is correct. And I think they're averaging 55, 60,000 a game this season. And listen, I gotta say, 2026 World Cup. You and I will be at Mercedes-Benz covering whatever games are there.
Love it.
Because it will be insane. It will be insane. But hey, do we want to end it here since we're on an hour, or do we want, because we could go on?
True, but people, put down below in the comment section, what should we talk about? Not just in the pod, but in these lives. And do you want to see more Q&As? If you want to, just like the live or the video. Literally, if we see a high like rate in this video, we will do much more Q&As. And love you guys. We love you guys, Eurofoot. And that's why we got to post those TikToks. And yeah, just got to go bold with the content because you guys deserve the best, okay? You guys go bold, just like Benfica, winning 1-0. And that World Cup early prediction in November, Patrick. Done. That's going to happen. Locked in, okay? Yeah. We are definitely going to do predictions just before and line up predictions because we got to throw back vibes with those. And we got to talk about Nuñez at the left, okay? So, yes.
Alex will be staying at my place, right? You're going to stay at my place in 2026?
Definitely when it's Philly games. And, man, Portugal, you guys have a city there. So, man, we got a Portuguese community in New Jersey. I hope we have games in New York and in Philly. I feel like there's Portuguese. I know Portuguese people that went to. So I feel like there's love. There's love. So there's love.
I'll take you to Red Bull Arena. But thanks everybody for tuning in, and let's do this again sometime.